hasn't even been a week since Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has officially released. A lot of us are still going through the game. I myself just got into chapter 10, which we are doing live on stream. So if you guys want to check that out, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can help raise that 38% even higher, and so you don't miss out on any of those updates. But the devs are already talking about part 3 of Final Fantasy VII's remake series, and it's got some pretty exciting stuff I think everybody will love to hear. This article comes from the Washington Post, which was written by Gene Park. You can follow him over on Twitter. He's a really cool dude. I highly recommend it. I'm going to be linking this article below in the description for you guys to check out on your own. I'm not going to be reading the entire thing, but there are some key notes that I thought were very interesting that we should bring to you guys. Console exclusivity key to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth success, team says. Which comes to our first point of a very important detail. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has released to widespread critical acclaim, in large part due to its stunning, seamless fantasy world, the kind rarely seen in the medium outside of the biggest games. This would not have been possible if Rebirth was planned as a multi-platform project, said Final Fantasy franchise producer Yoshinori Kitase. Its development exclusively for the PlayStation 5 made it easier for the team to focus on building a world with diverse geography, indoor and outdoor areas populated with activities, characters friendly and hostile, all seamlessly represented with no loading screen interruptions. Developing games for multiple platforms, by contrast, usually creates more work that focuses on porting rather than iterating on the game's design, which is true. If you're developing for multiple platforms, you're constantly having to go back and configure things to work with that specific hardware, which does extend development time. They actually bring up a point right here with Final Fantasy 15, the last open world Final Fantasy game. It targeted the PS4 and Xbox One, but it was scarcely populated, defined mostly by long stretches of highway and grass with little things to do. Rebirth, however, is basically a crowded and bustling amusement park. Not talking about Gold Saucer, but essentially the entire game itself. There's a tons of thing to do. Between the side quests, the mini games, and the oh so beloved Queen's Blood that I crave to send everybody in the Shadow Realm to, there really is a lot of great things to do, and a lot of it are fun. I just did a mini game last night for a side quest that absolutely triggered me to no end from the beginning. The chicken side quest. If you know, you know. However, the ending of it was very worth it. Very good payoff at the end. Let me know in the comments if you guys have played that one yet. Had it not been on a single platform, the world would not be seamless, and the game design may have had to regress significantly in regards to Rebirth. They also mentioned that they chalk up Rebirth's quick design and the fact that it was able to release 4 years after Final Fantasy VII Remake is all due to retaining 80% of the employees from the previous project, which is a huge task in itself. Not having to rehire people, not having to requalify specific departments for adding in newer employees, things like that really do take up a lot of time. However, the most important bit I think of this is this part right here. Hamaguchi told the Post that he's already forming a game design document with key elements for the finale. Much of the work for the third game is already done thanks to all the world construction done in Rebirth. A key challenge for the final game is rebuilding its world to accommodate a massive Zeppelin-like airship called the Highwind, introduced in the third and final act of the original 1997 game. Hamaguchi said it was important for him that Rebirth featured an explorable map like the 1997 game. I definitely want to address the same for what it's likely expected from our experience with the Highwind to explore the world. Which from a development standpoint is very smart on their part with developing the world and having it set up in the way that we already know that it is set up in Rebirth, and then having to then design the air travel elements to it and also restructure various things. So this way the airship can do things like land in an open field, which you could do in the original game. You could land it basically anywhere that has grass. You couldn't land it on mountain or rocky terrain. So I am also curious how they will be implementing this design. Like, will we be parachuting off of the Highwind into the towns? Like, what exactly are we going to be doing when it comes to this? I have no idea, but there are a lot of really cool interpretations they could make for this. And I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. How would they implement this, or how should they? Like in Tears of the Kingdom, will there be a separate world on top of the world, like an open area above in the sky that you can access? Hey, they have been borrowing inspiration from a lot of games, right? Critical acclaim was especially important for Hamaguchi, who made it a personal goal to make the game so good that its average score on reviews, like Metacritic, would be above 90. Rebirth certainly sits above a 92 average score, and also it just hit a 90 or 9.0 on a user score, which is very, very huge. The game has been received extremely well by users and critics alike, so Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is certified. It's a solid game. Yes, it does have some minor graphical issues when it comes to the performance mode. The graphics mode has really grown on me. It's probably my ultimate way to play the game right now, and I've been getting really into the cutscenes. I've been getting really into the gameplay and the character models and way that they look in the graphics fidelity mode. Of course, there are pop-in issues and some textures won't load, which has been chalked up to being an Unreal Engine 4 thing and their problems with optimizing it. But I'm hoping whenever the PC version releases, or if a PS5 Pro is actually in the works, and eventually when they do get to part 3, all of those issues have been fixed and are not a problem anymore. Also, another detail I want to talk about for the Highwind. Now, spoiler warnings for those who have not gotten to this part yet. I'm about to talk about Chapter 10 in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, so just be in mind, I'm going to be talking about that moment right here. But in Chapter 10, you do finally get to meet Cid, and he does fly you around in the Tiny Bronco. Now, while you are in the air of the Tiny Bronco, you can totally see that there is an aerial overview of the world that you're flying over. The Tiny Bronco is not necessarily controllable. You can kind of move it up, down, left, or right, but it's still on a path of where it is flying, and you can hear the characters talking, set for that specific reason. But you can actually look around and see the different regions, the different colors of areas. So you can totally tell that there is an aerial aspect of travel already implemented into the game. In its very early stages, I'll admit, but they still have to find a way to rework this so that the Highwind flows better, flies better, and functions for Final Fantasy VII Part 3. Whatever that is. Relinquish, repent, revive, regurgitate. What do you guys think Part 3 is going to be called? Let me know in the comments below. And again, guys, check out this article. I posted it down below in the description. I'll also be pinning it in the comments for you guys to enjoy. It's a pretty well done one and gives me a lot of hope and excitement for Part 3, even though we're not even done yet with Part 2. There's still a lot to talk about. There's still a whole bunch of endgame stuff. There's still endgame hard mode dungeons and hard bosses and guides and a lot of content we have left to make on it that I cannot wait to begin that for you guys. So starting this month with this channel, we have a lot of other things that we want to talk about, with Stellar Blade coming out next month, and this month we have Dragon's Dogma 2, and who knows, a couple months after that, maybe in the summertime, we could have Elden Ring's new DLC as well. I've never played the first or finished the first Elden Ring, so I'd love to play that on stream if you guys would love to see that and watch me get my cheeks clapped in it. But I think every single month going so far into this year, we have a fire release to hold us over that we will be covering on the channel. I want to know also in the comments below, which one are you guys very excited for? Dragon's Dogma 2 looks really fun, and I think that just like in 2023, 2024 is already a solid year in terms of games for us to play and enjoy, and it's going to be a great time, guys. We're going from Power World to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth to Dragon's Dogma 2 to Stellar Blade to Elden Ring, hopefully. Man, we're eating good. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you are new. More Final Fantasy VII Rebirth videos and also videos on your other favorite games are on the way, and you don't want to miss them. My name is BltzZ, and thanks for watching.